I'm back. Hey guys, I know y'all missed me. Welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James. I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it's not gonna happen this video, at the very least, not gonna happen with me. Joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Hello, beautiful people. I told you he'd be back, and he's here. God damn it. Welcome back, James.
Yes, I heard y'all been asking about me. Y'all, I have been the busiest person ever. Like to put that even mildly, I've been so busy where I had to put this on the back burner. I am so sorry, y'all. I can't even say I'm back. Like I can't even say that. Like I'm here today. I don't know when I will be back on YouTube after today. So I'm just hanging in there. Y'all roll with me. But I got some new subscribers. I want to say welcome to them. Thank you for subscribing. If you are not subscribed to me, go ahead and subscribe. Especially if you like what you see. Come on now. I get a lot of viewers, but no subscribers. Y'all, come on. Y'all know how YouTube work. Also, I want you guys to subscribe to Mrs. Best channel. I know I was not there this week for her channel, but I am going to be back on her channel soon. So, but in the meantime, subscribe to her because any reviews or recaps I don't cover, we will cover on her channel. So today we are doing Love and Marriage, or Love and Marriage. Yes, we are doing Love and Marriage, but Love and Hip Hop Miami, since they did 2 episodes in 1 week. We have Love and Hip Hop Atlanta, and then we also have The Valley on Mrs. Best channel that we're going to try to get done today on her channel today. So make sure you subscribe to her. And also subscribe to Shana's channel. Shana, I see you in here. Yeah, subscribe to Shana. We still showing you love, even though you made your announcement and everything. So definitely still subscribe to her because she is always supporting me. She did a nice little community page post and ask everyone to subscribe to my channel to get my viewers up. And I appreciate that, Shana. Nonetheless, that means so much to me. You have no idea. Kevin Reynolds is in the house. Hey, Kevin, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Our thugging cousin Naya is in the building too. We acknowledge this. Thank you so much for giving me the birthday wishes. Y'all 35 has started out stressful, but I'm gonna get through it. That just ain't nothing to it but to do it. On another note, digging the new photo of your YouTube channel, James, and special hello to you, Miss Lau. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate you. I don't know what new photo I have on there.
That's what I was going to ask. Hey, Kevin. I was going
Is
to.
YouTube showing something that I don't know about? Because what are y'all talking about?
I don't know, Fred, but whatever picture it is, you hella fine. So I'm sure you look good.
Okay. I didn't know I thought I had that same old that I don't know how to change picture, but okay. But that's all right. Thank you, Shana. We appreciate you. Thank you, Kevin, for the compliment. I appreciate you as well. Y'all, let's get into this foolishness. I'm not going to talk about point by point because when I tell y'all this episode was a lot without being a lot, and it annoyed me. Oh, thank you. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you, Shana. Y'all are so sweet. I appreciate y'all. So let's get into this foolishness. So we open up the episode, and there's all of this realm and noise about Drew coming and whether Portia's going to be okay with it, because it's her birthday and everything. And it seems like it's taking forever for Drew to even get there because I feel like Drew's been coming for the last 2 days. Drew still ain't showed up yet. But nevertheless, Angela and Cynthia have a conversation, which we had to pan around to Angela's wig glue. And I'm looking at Angela and I'm like, oh my gosh, Angela, I need you to stop wearing wigs if this is what's going to happen. I need you to either wear your hair, I need you to get a weave, or I need you to get some braids. I need you to do something else other than these wigs because wigs are not your friends. The glue tell the secret of everything. So we don't know what's going to happen, but that was enough. When Mrs. Best sent me that picture, I was like, oh my gosh, how embarrassing.
Now, why you got to point me out? I just call out my messiness.
Because, this is what the channel for, right? We here to be messy, ain't we? Yeah. She has been traveling. It was like, well, Drew, come on. Like, what is we waiting for? So Cynthia said that, I understand Portia and, her gripe with this whole situation because baby daddies hit differently. I still feel away if it was Leon. And I'm looking at Cynthia like, Cynthia, Noelle is grown. Noelle got to be almost 30 like us. She got to be. Why would that be any different? Why would you feel a way about Leon working with one of the girls on this cast? I still need someone to explain to me. I need someone to explain to me what this issue is with Drew working with Dennis. If this is all that it is, I'm just saying. I could see if they were trying to go public about a relationship, then fine. I understand why Portia would feel away or be upset. But this is business. They had to film together to promote said business. And from what we hear, and from what I still haven't listened to her album is good. So I'm trying to figure out what is the problem. Can someone please explain to me what the problem is and why this is a big deal?
It's a control thing. I really think Portia wants to have control. I think that's why she left the Housewives when the fans started asking her questions and control fell out her lap. She doesn't do well when she loses it. But I mean, like you said, as long as Drew had the conversation with Portia, like, I'm going to be doing this with Dennis for business reasons, I don't see the problem. If there wasn't a conversation, then yes, you've broken girl code. But if there was a conversation, they're not together, Drew got her divorce, and all they did was music, what's the issue? And I also don't like that. Why are y'all going to try and paint Drew as if she's some type of a hoe or a bop based on Dennis's past actions, not Drew's past actions? Because there's no proof that Drew's done anything with him. But they keep kind of like painting her as if she is doing something sexual in nature with him, and she hasn't. And it seems like they're basing that just off of the fact that Dennis, he a hoe.
I agree with this comment, Kevin Reynolds. Cynthia is definitely dick riding Portia, and it is annoying. It is annoying, and I'm gonna be clear with y'all because this is what pissed me off about this whole allegiance to Portia, and this is why I don't feel like Drew did anything wrong because it's business. But even if, let's just say Drew did push the envelope a little bit further and did maybe have some type of inappropriate relationship with Dennis and didn't call Portia. So let me ask y'all this: so did Portia call Fallon when she married that lady husband? Inquiring minds want to know. I asked the question again in case somebody heard me. Did Portia call Fallon when she married that lady's husband? Okay, then I don't. So I don't care. So if Drew did do anything with Dennis, that would be, you know what, Portia's karma. At the end of the day, that would be Portia's karma. I don't feel like Drew owed Portia that conversation. I don't feel like, because it's business. It's
Drew
business.
didn't do nothing wrong. Me personally, if they're friends, she did owe Portia not a conversation, but just like a heads up. However, that is exactly why Portia's trying to paint Drew out to be a problem, because it would force her to admit, like, okay, this is my karma, and she's not going to do that. Her ego's in the way.
Exactly. And so that's what pissed me off about Cynthia. And I just didn't understand. So Drew finally gets there and she goes to find Angela. Angela's getting her makeup done. And she goes, "Where's everybody?" And then she goes, "Probably getting ready, but your room is right in there." And so she points out the room, but she doesn't say anything about the room. She just points that it's over there. So Drew already knows some shade in this. So she was like, "Okay, let me see this room." And she saw it was the bunk bed room that, nobody, who I think it was supposed to be Kelly that's supposed to take that room originally, but she decided to room with Britt. So Drew was like, "Oh no, this ain't gonna work." And Angela is laughing because she knew it was going to be some mess. I said, "Y'all some messy broads. Y'all all messy. It's crazy." So what ends up happening is that the girl splits off in two groups. So we have Portia, Shamia, and Kelly. They go to Coyote Ugly, which is on my bucket list. I think it's number 30. I want to go to Coyote Ugly because I am a huge fan of the movie. I am a huge Leanne Rimes fan. If anybody did not know, Can't Fight the Moonlight is a song I play at least once a month. So that was definitely something I want to do. I love all of that. So that's on my list. The rest of the girls, which is Britt, Angela, Drew, Cynthia, and I'm missing somebody, am I? Who the hell else am I missing? Or was it just them four? We're just gonna put it as them four, unless if I'm forgetting somebody in that little clique, I am so sorry. I said Drew, Cynthia, Britt, and Angela. I feel like I'm missing a fifth person. Sorry if I am. But they go whiskey tasting. Yes, 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 it was. When I tell you that movie, I love movies that are inspiring to follow your dreams. And then they show like so many different struggles of like, being robbed and like, and also not being heard. I went through that with my books. So I always love watching that movie as a symbol of something that, um, it's just something that is just so inspiring. Like I just love it. And I love that they don't show like no fairy tale. I love that they show the actual bullet holes to stab wounds, as I like to call them. So, um, the conversation between Shamia Kelly and Portia as they take these shots on the bar and they all are, trying to take the shot without picking it up. Shamia was nasty, y'all. I just want to be a fly on the wall when it comes to Shamia's sex life. I really do with that man. Because she be doing a lot. Like, that's way too much. That is way too much for me. And then Kelly tried to deep throat the shot glass. And I said, Kelly, ma'am, please don't get these people shut down before I have a chance to get there, please. Thank you, thank you. So the conversation then turns to, Portia saying that she feels that Angela is setting Drew up when it comes to this whole situation, a confrontation between, her and Portia. And I'm listening to Portia explain this, and I'm like, how does that make sense? Like, I'm trying to figure out how's it Angela trying to set up Drew when your whole initial reason, like, did the first episode not happen in your mind? Like, that can't be Angela's fault. She can't set Drew up for anything when your initial response is you don't want Drew and Dennis filming on the show because you and Dennis are in a good place, which still doesn't make any sense to me. So Portia missed that because that was confusing. You have no real issue with Drew. You just don't want the operative to be that if she works with Dennis, it goes even further because just keep it real. You still in love with him.
I don't even think it's that deep no more. I do think that Portia still wants Dennis, but don't want to look a fool, so she'll never get back with him. Portia ain't got shit to talk about. At the time that she was filming this, there was still an active order from the court stating she could not film in her house. She cannot talk about Simon like that. She can't really dig into the details of her divorce. She has nothing to talk about. And y'all know I've never been a Portia fan. I just never have been a fan. I can't respect no African American person that jokes and or does not know about the Underground Railroad. Because what in the actual fuck? Right? So I never let that go. But she's never had anything to give. Her first season, she had the one liner with Kenya by Ashley, but other than that, she was following behind Phaedra and up they asses. Then she divorced Cordell. That was a storyline. Then she went and manically dated people, acting like she wanted a baby. And then Dennis finally gave it to her. She does the same thing season after season, but outside of her dating life, Portia is not interesting. She's not. And I think she knows it, and I think that's why she'd be jealous of Shamia, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, you know what it is? Because I was watching her disdain for Shamia because she has it. She definitely does. I think it's more so she's mad about two things. One, she wants the life that Shamia has because that's all she ever prayed about. And you can't pray for something and then be vindictive to get it. You can't do it like that. That's not how that works. And another thing is, from what we understand, Shamil was the plug that got Simon and Portia together. So she had a hand in it. So I think it's also another, I can't believe you set me up like this because now look at the outcome of my life. I think that there's a part of her that blames Shamia for this. And I think that she'll never be honest about that because it's one of those where it's like, okay, but even though you set us up, you couldn't have predicted that he was going to be all of what he is today. So it's sort of like she can't be mad at her, but she is, if that makes sense. So I think that that's what we're looking at. Let me read these comments because I am getting behind. Portia needs storyline. She can't use Simon. Yeah, we all do that. Right. She's giving friend of energy. Hi, Shani. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. She was fun, but a homewrecker was the last straw for most people with Portia. You know what it was? It was actually my last straw with Portia was this whole her treating Shamia bad because y'all understand I'm a huge Shamia stan. Like I love me some Shamia. She was the very last girl I had a crush on before I went to men. So it was one of those where I'm just like, I love me some Shamia, always will. It hurt me when Portia really just played in her face like that over Phaedra, of all people. It's like crazy to me. She is. She is a very big control freak. Hey sis, yes.
Portia,
This
I don't like the Shamia thing. I know people are kind of coming for Shamia online, which we'll probably get to later. But if your best friend does not make it to your wedding, that's all I'm gonna say. Portia missed that wedding. I ain't looked at her the same since. I said, oh, she's stupid and she's a bad friend. So I don't know. She's ignoring everything. But the lie she told about Angela trying to set them up, I think that was just something that she could explain so that her behavior could later make sense. But we're
she
tired of
lost.
it. Yeah, she lost
It
us.
didn't help. It didn't help anything. It didn't help anything. And then at the same time, I just feel like it didn't serve the purpose you thought it was going to serve. It didn't do what you thought it was going to do because as the viewers, we all have brains. We all are not stupid. We all can see what you're trying to do and the narrative you're trying to push about Drew and Dennis. Because we know, and let me be clear with y'all. I don't put it past Dennis. I don't because I feel like Dennis is the type of dude that, yeah, he may be generous, but I feel like his generosity comes with conditions. I do. And I feel like one of those conditions is a good old nut at the end of it. Yes, I said what I said. I just feel that's my opinion. And I feel like, and it can be something as small as when he had the ladies at the Waffles house at 4 a.m. when he was cheating on Portia. I feel like those ladies had to do something for them waffles. I do. That's just my opinion. Because he looked like that type of dude. We all know the type of dudes that, in order for you to get ahead with them, you got to go somewhere that you ain't trying to go. And so you say no because you know at the end of the day, it ain't worth it or you don't want that on your body count. So, yeah, I can definitely think that. And I think Portia thinks that too. But at the same time, I don't think that Drew is like that, especially still being legally married. I don't think that Drew is really in that footing. I don't. But since you brought up that, hold on, let me read these comments. Cause see, y'all doing too much. Hold on. I think this is where I left off. Kevin Reynolds, why is you side eyeing Shamia? Did you explain this later on? I'm gonna get to it. Don't explain it if you already have. Portia is disrespectful. No way she is. It's okay, Shani. You'll better luck next time. You'll get it. You'll get there first next time. I promise. Shamia will never escape Portia's lapdog narrative. Sorry, not sorry. She does piss me off with that because I feel like Portia don't deserve that. Oh, you're saying it was good to Shane? Gotcha. Okay. James, your girl, Shamia is corny as fuck. I ain't changing it. And I said what I said, fight me. I ain't gonna fight you. That's your opinion. Look, if y'all think Shamia corny, then that's fine. I understand Shamia because Shamia is the type of Taurus that I am, where I am loyal to a fault to a lot of my friends. And I definitely am one of those people that I just, like to still see the good in people, regardless of like them being messed up people, especially if I don't have the same outlook or the same memory as most of y'all do with the person. Like, especially if my memories go way further back than a situation where we're now public. That's, that's basically what it is.
Shamia is the thing is Shamia explains she's a people pleaser. She's aware of it. I like Shamia still, but birds of a feather flock together. Her and Portia was probably doing their dirt at one time together, and that's probably where jealousy and misbalance comes. But I feel like Shamia is one of those people where having her kids may have changed her for the better, but I feel like when you change for the better, sometimes you have to walk away from people from your past, and she's not willing to do that with Portia. So I see when she gets with Portia, she falls into those old behaviors from back in the day when we first met her that made us not really care for her too much.
I loved her then, so I didn't see no flaw with her. I didn't see no flaw in anything. So um, we then move on to um, something that Shamia couldn't explain right because the cameras panned it back. that Shamia wasn't telling the full truth of something that Kelly had said or repeated that was about Angela, and I'm just like, I was lost. I was like, what are we trying to explain here? Mrs. Best, can you explain from your perception? Because I didn't understand what we were talking about.
With who? Because it's been a few days. Hold on. With who?
Was
With Ken?
Shamia telling Portia something about Angela? And it was right around the moment where Portia revealed that Angela maybe setting Drew up, and Shamia said she had some information. And when they panned back, with the actual conversation was Shamia got the information wrong.
Yes, Shamia told Portia the worst part of what she heard versus the meaning and the message that was actually sent to her. That's what I
Mhm.
mean. She's still moving messy. She's just smooth with how she's doing it.
Yeah.
So she went to Portia and made it seem like Angela was questioning basically everything about Portia in like some sort of a messy way, but Angela wasn't really doing that. She was commenting on a situation as a whole. I don't know. I didn't like Shamia this episode, James. I know you love her and I'm trying to be kind, but the bitch is
No,
messy.
no, no, don't be kind. Listen, y'all. As my good friend Kevin Reynolds in the chat up in there is doing, which is telling me that Shamia ain't shit, basically, in more words than one. Y'all could say that to me. I'm fine with it. I ain't got no problems. I'm good. I'm good.
But
But
yeah, she's moving incredibly messy because she relayed only part of a message. She relayed the worst part of the message. And then to make it worse, right? You want Portia to be a better friend to you, but then you relay to her the part of the message that's going to make her mad versus telling her what she actually needs to know. So I didn't like that. And Shamia doesn't seem like, I mean, I'm curious because we haven't really got her at a reunion like that. So I'm going to wait and reserve the rest of my opinion to see how she addresses it. If she's accountable for it, then I'll be like, okay, whatever, messy housewife shit. If she's not accountable for it, then I could take a pass because she don't need the money anyway.
mm-hmm. Exactly. That's exactly how I feel too. She don't need the money. I love that she's on the show, but she don't need the money. But one thing I am going to say before we move on to the other ladies, I forgot my mind just left me just like that. What was I about to say? We just gonna move on because I forgot my thought. Damn, y'all getting old. Um, yeah, I wasn't feeling Cynthia either. Like I really wasn't. Like Cynthia pissed me off this whole. We finna get into that. So we go to the other ladies. They're doing the whiskey tasting, and this is where Britt got on my nerves once again because Britt decides to confront Angela about the whole, brunch thing that Kelly was hosting, and it pissed me off because y'all have to understand something. Britt was not moving like someone who wasn't lying about her situation. The first thing that people do when they lie is they get immediately defensive and start hollering loud and start to make you wrong when you're holding them accountable. Because all Angela said was when Britt admitted that her license was under investigation, Angela said, under what grounds? And Britt immediately got defensive. And then in this entire scene, she tried to make herself look like some victim. She goes, that really did hurt me. I'm looking at Britt like, oh my God, you are exhausting. Um, she does, but at the same time, it's like she goes above and beyond to make sure that that is her memo on the show, to get on our nerves and to ruffle our feathers for things that do not make sense. And Angela stood on her ground. And you know what, y'all? I know I gave Angela hell the first couple of episodes, but I'm starting to like Angela. She's pulling a Sutton Strack on me because I didn't like Sutton in the beginning. And then she won me over with that whole Erica shit. Angela's doing that same exact thing with moving around these ladies. And I'm going to get to that towards the end where Angela completely won me over. But I'm going to say this about Britt. Britt, I don't believe that this situation of Kenya having you plastered and posting your dick sucking pics on her poster boards was the cause of you getting this license under investigation. I do not feel like that at all. So for you to sit up there and try to push this narrative and trying to make it like Angela was questioning some like offensive thing was terrible. It was terrible, terrible, terrible. Like, how dare you? We all are wondering the same thing. Angela's just asking the questions we all want to know. Under what grounds did your license go under investigation? And for you to have that reaction the way you did is showing that you're lying. Because all you had to simply explain was, well, my license is being investigated under this code, under this error problem, and this is what it is. And unfortunately, I have to ride this one out because I cannot dispute it at this time because there may be something that, or don't say, just say, I can't speak on the matter right now. Unfortunately, all I can tell you it's under this, and I have to let them invest because I don't want to further incriminate myself if there's something wrong. That's all she had to do, y'all. It's not hard. It's not
I
hard at
just
all.
like to say, as someone who has sold insurance and had the same license as her, but in California, if your license was investigated, even if it went nowhere, there will be a file of that investigation somewhere, either electronically or physically with papers, but likely electronically in California. However, if the file exists, which it should if you're being investigated, it will tell us the date that they brought up the investigation, the first date, and it tells you when the investigation was closed, if it's closed. Usually with insurance, these investigations don't take too long unless it's like one agent or someone who owns an office accusing another office of something. Then it might take a little longer. But we don't even fucking know that. So I'm over Brit. Terrible interviews are coming out to support whatever narrative Kenya showed about her. Wrong or not, Kenya opening that door kind of, it did what Kenya wanted it to do, even though she shouldn't have done it because she's not on the show. They still talking about her. She has been kicked off the show. She did what she did and exposed Brit, and it opened Pandora's box and unleashed all these other things. I'm seeing crazy interviews, rappers talking about her crazy, rappers that are alleged to have been in the fellatio poster board trying to avoid her. None of this has helped Brit at all. Now people talking about her husband like to be bent over and bend it over. So it's a lot going on. And you know that she's lying also because a person who's truly being investigated would be like, I can't speak on the matter. If you're really being investigated, that's the safest thing to do. So the fact that she's not doing or saying that when, as she likes to paint it, her and Mike have all this money, where is your attorney to help you through this situation and telling you to shut the fuck up? So I'm tired of Britt, Edie. I didn't like her from day one. And she's proven me right. And I just want her to go away. That's all.
Would you be brought up under investigation for someone putting pics of a dick next to your face after 3 or 4 days? No.
No, no, it takes much longer for something like that to initiate or even be conducted. I don't think that
Absolutely.
she's being investigated for anything related to the show.
No. Because in hindsight, when this first came out, we didn't have any actual physical evidence that it was her. Because remember, I said there's notable deniability. We never knew that it was her that Kenya was talking about, even though we had a name, which I'm sure Brit is not her actual government name. So we don't know who this person is. We didn't see the picture. We have nothing. There's no evidence. So in the 3 or 4 days after the fact that you are now being investigated, how would they know that that was you?
Exactly. They would have to be there to see the photo. They're not just going to accept a random screenshot in an investigation of that sort. They can't. They can't because that would make it them liable if it's not the actual photo. They would have had to have been there or they would have had to have subpoenaed Bravo, which they're not going to do
Which they can't
for
do it until
something
it's
that's
shown.
small. Right.
Yeah,
So Brit is just lying to lie. And it pisses me off because there are a lot of insurance agents out there, as quiet as it's kept, especially here in California, that are doing OnlyFans full time, doing porn, webcams, on
absolutely.
escort websites, done been on Maury, all types of shit. And she thinks that she's relevant enough for them to take her license because of some shit that plenty of people in Georgia's done. I'm sure plenty of the Magic City strippers is in insurance now once they retire. Stop it, Britt. She's too much.
She is. So Cynthia, with her old dick hopping ass, sits up there and goes, and no, y'all need to stop because if y'all had y'all faces with a dick plastered on for public humiliation, y'all wouldn't. It was like, Cynthia, I don't know what you're doing right now, but that ain't what happened. And you were not there at that brunch. And even if you was there, all Angela did was ask a question of under what grounds, because anybody who has any type of license of whatever knows that when you're investigating somebody, you have to have grounds for why you're investigating them. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm just going to investigate Aunt Britt Edie's license today because I feel like she on social media is popping her booty, so I'm just going to see if she practices well." No one's going to do that because we have the freedom to do whatever we want as long as it's not hurting somebody else. And Shana brought up a good point. I see why Kenya don't fool with you. I do. I see why Kenya is sitting up there, taking a back seat. And I see what Nene is talking about now. At first, I didn't see it because y'all know Nene is loud and obnoxious. And usually when you loud and obnoxious, it diminishes the message that you're trying to convey. I see it now, Nene. I see it. And I'm sorry. I never doubted you, but it was hard to see what you were conveying based on how you presented it to us. So, no, I see exactly, because Cynthia was dead ass wrong. You weren't there, and you can't say that this investigation was because of that, because it still at that moment had not been enough time for them to really figure out that this is the lady, and yet we need to investigate her license under the grounds of she's doing something inappropriate in her life, which is her own private business. Unless there's an ass somewhere where Brittany is clapping her ass and say, "Hey, I sell insurance" on a t-shirt, then that's when y'all can come to me and say, "Oh yeah, we investigating her," because that's a little wild. So
yeah, I'm surprised more people with insurance licenses aren't speaking out. They probably are too busy working to notice. But this heifer don't even sell. Like she said, she did tell her insurance company that she had, and now she's doing like an insurance master class that has also been exposed as being fraudulent. So I don't know what Bravo did, but I feel like Kelly, she's an okay addition. Angela is doing well, and I think could have blended with like the OG cast. But Britt is like, this is love and hip hop energy. Oops, sorry, y'all. The cat meowing.
no, this is Zeus. What's Natalie Nunn's little show called?
The
Uh,
baddies.
Baddies.
No,
Yeah,
no, no. All they do is fight. And Britt's scary. You could tell she don't want to fight nobody. This is love and hip hop energy.
I believe this. I believe this. I believe she moves like somebody that you know who she reminds me of? Oh, I almost said your government name. Mrs. Best, you know who she reminds me of?
Yes.
She reminds me of Flo. Except she ain't got a Marlin. She reminds me of Flo. And if y'all don't watch Love and Hip Hop Miami, it was said that Flo had a sugar daddy, and that's how she's able to have her Range Rover and her house that she's in now and everything in that, which I told y'all didn't make no sense. She can't get that house on Love and Hip Hop salary.
Oh,
There's no way.
I definitely believe her license was taken away years ago. I think that's probably the reason she sold her company. Because who would sell a profitable insurance company?
Yeah.
Who would do that? So is that, I don't know. Britt Edie is just shady. Bravo, y'all really need to hire a better recruitment team, if whatever the hell y'all call it, because this ain't working.
Absolutely. I'm gonna mention. I know there's a segment with Drew in this whole situation. We'll get to that in a minute because I actually want to tie this into another scene. But so as the ladies get back, Shamia gets a phone call from Gerald where she has to explain to the doctor about their youngest baby who got like an ear infection or whatever. And that scene threw me off, I'm not gonna lie, because she keeps saying, how she has guilt. She wants to give her husband a son, and she is hoping that it's in God's will. And she said he's a very hands-on father, so she feels like he is deserving of this. And I am confused by this. And the reason why I'm confused by this is because a hands-on father does not need to call you to let you confirm all of your daughter's sicknesses and illnesses and what she has going on. Like, no present father needs you to do that. He would have it handled so that way when you come back, you can get the recap story. So it leads me to believe that he may be hands on, but he seemed like he may be gone a lot. So a lot of the things that you take care of, you don't include him in until it's pillow talk because you don't want to stress him out with what he got going on. That's not then in that case, that's not a hands-on father to me. And that's just my opinion. Mrs. Best, do you feel that same way?
It's impossible with what he does for a living and how much he has to travel to be fully hands on. But I'm going to give him his kudos. You know, at least she's able to travel and he could take the kid. I mean, even hands on fathers sometimes have to call. I don't know what's wrong with men, but, um, I don't know. Shamia, like, she tells us a little bit about her life that makes us feel like we're getting like something of substance, but then she's also telling us so little. So I still want to see more from her, if that makes sense, before I form an opinion.
That's what I okay, Naya, that's what I was thinking too. Because he's a dad who is present, yes. But that does not mean he needs a son. The caveman mentality needs to be done and over with. It does because you just say you want a boy now that you have two girls. I would much rather her say that than to feel like, oh, well, he wants a son and he's deserving of it. It's like, ma'am, life does not guarantee us this in situations, circumstances. And like Shana was saying, it's not in God's will. She needs to leave the Lord out of it. You do because making a baby is a very human decision. I hate to tell y'all that, but it's a very human decision. You feel urge, you have sex, because it's not guaranteed every time you have sex you're gonna get pregnant. That's why it's a human urge, not no God's will. And y'all put a lot on God that God does not. God is in divinity, not in human error or human trial. So please stop doing that. Because I hate when people do that. It annoys me because it's like we use God to try to escape the things we create. So, and I just feel like Shamia just for me is just that kind of made me upset because I'm just like, you doing too much.
Well, like I said, I'm sorry, birds of a feather flock together. Portia married an African man. How convenient that her best friend had one too, and they be running off to Africa constantly. Portia married an African man. Now Shamia done married an African man, but the one thing these men had in common was money. It just so happened that Shamia's man, it ended up working out more. So maybe she feels like she has to give him what he wants. It feels like he's so deserving of stuff because of the lifestyle that she's been afforded because of him. I like Shamia. I feel like she wants to change, but I also can't deny that I also feel like she's a little bit of a gold digger, just to a certain extent. Not because
I
of this
definitely feel
man,
that.
but because of previous men's.
Well, here's the thing. I feel like that was the motive to land him, but I feel like throughout the timing with him, maybe things have changed to where that's less of the
All
motive.
that matters, though, is the motive. And that's probably why she is willing to put her body at risk to be trying to give this man a baby. When the reality is, you need to put your black ass on some birth control and go find another surrogate because Shadina is done.
Hmm. Last night, one of my girls said he's 63. Ninja, please. Gerald is 63? Hold on, let me look at this man real quick. Hold on, y'all. We got to go through a rabbit
He
hole.
look like he is a well over his 50s. He looks that way. He's handsome, but he does look like a man that's over 50.
Let me see. Hold on. Let me see something real quick. Because I don't. Hold on. Does it say his age anywhere online? Y'all know it does not. Damn. Let me see. This picture look more recent. Hold on. Let me see. Mm, y'all look at this with me because now I can't. Now I can't. Hold on. Let me see. Okay, maybe this picture he does look a little bit in maybe past 50. Okay, maybe in this picture. Oh, I didn't even share it with y'all. My bad.
I don't know. The internet said he was born in 1962.
Oh, oh, okay, okay. That's shocking to me. So now that makes me wonder. Now, Shamia. Now that makes me wonder. Why? I need somebody to dig in more into his life because that's questionable. Because she said he didn't have any kids, and it was never disclosed whether if he was married before Shamia. That's yeah, Roxanne for it's rock or she's not for it's Rocks anymore. It's Rocks. That's who said it, and I was hollering when she did that. I was so messed up. James, your copy Shamia will be your downfall. Just messing with you. No, she ain't. As I said, Kevin Reynolds, the last girl crush I had. She could get it the same way Portia get it. She can. Trust me. Let her do some shit that I feel like is crazy. She can get it. Even though in the beginning I said that she could do no wrong in my eyes, I did say that. I'm not saying that she's perfect. And I'm not saying I won't see the flaw because I will call them out. I hate that I have to do it. Like I'm gonna hate that, but damn, I will call it out. But yeah, I do feel like there was some motive of gold digging to get
I
you.
can't see
Absolutely.
Shamia even doing nothing too crazy on this show because she's too much of a dick rider. She said it herself. She got to be liked. She's a people pleaser. So I can't see her like doing too much. But I'm curious to see how she would do without Portia. I think that's the only way we'll get to know how she moves for real.
She said out her mouth the other day she had lost four boy embryos, so the answer is no. Oh, well, goddamn. Y'all. Lord Jesus, not she lost. Ooh, we. Damn. I don't understand why they just won't adopt. Like, is it adopt? Like, I know that now that Trump is in office, maybe it's going to be a lot harder to adopt a child, maybe out of the country. Like, you can go get an African child. But I think they're going to make it hard for him to immigrate that child here. So probably that's probably why he ain't going to do it. I hope she enjoys the fruits of her life and happiness before that happens. It's not going to happen if she lost for how many embryos did she have? That's the real question. And I don't understand why she, and this is another thing, I don't understand why you won't put yourself through that when you just had an atomic pregnancy. Like after that, the shop would have been closed. After that, the shop would have been closed. It'd be like, I'm sorry, sir. We got these two little girls and we can go, you can go be a big brother. You can go do, I can't do no more. That's how I would have took it. I couldn't do no more. And I'm not even a woman. So I can only imagine a woman who had went through that, how she would feel because I would close up shop. There's no way.
I mean, that's why I say that's probably a piece of that motive of how they got together. He's an African man. And to African man, especially Igbo Nigerian, it is extremely important to have a son from your balls. So I don't think that she would let us see her interacting with him in that way because she already said he doesn't want to film. So I don't know. It's very strange.
It is, but we're gonna move on, y'all. We're gonna move on to I'm gonna skip the scene with the PSA, Shamia getting that call from the lady who was with her first husband. I'm gonna skip all that just because I feel like I understand what Shamia is saying. It's great to be vindicated. I just had a vindication moment with one of my exes. And I understand how she feels. I understand the relief of that because that could be very powerful in a mind where you probably had some blame, even though you probably did nothing wrong in the relationship, but you do carry some blame and guilt. And I just feel like I don't want to go over that because it makes me think about a situation. Is there anything you want to go over that with me, Mrs. Best, before we move on?
No, I think part of healing is learning to leave the past in the past while still acknowledging that stuff happened and moving on. Shamia has been with Gerald for 10 years already. So that means whatever she went through in the past is not just in the past, but way back in the past. So I empathize with her, but she's going to need to do, and y'all going to think I'm harsh and probably want to cancel me. Shamia's going to need to do a hell of a lot more than utilize the struggles that she's been through in life to make us like her. Give us more. What's happening with your marriage today? How's the dynamic? How y'all interact? What's really good? Because I'm feeling like all we keep hearing are sad stories, episode after episode from Samia, and I want more.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, and I agree. So the ladies crowd around for dinner. And as we get through this dinner, Drew is, everyone's time pleading Drew's, case of being here. Drew feels like she's the odd man out, and she's trying to have this come to Jesus moment with Portia, but Portia got a stank ass attitude sitting at that table looking at her. And I would have got up then and said, "Thank you for not inviting me. I'm sorry to have shown up and wasted this trip or whatever." But she does ask Portia, she goes, "Do you want me to leave, Portia?" And Portia just, being very subtle and not saying anything, "You straight, you straight." And I was like, "No, I want you to say, because I'm intruding, is it okay for me to be here? Because if not, I can leave." So,
That's why Portia is whack. You talking all this shit behind this girl back in the confessional, talking shit to Dennis. You doing all of this. Now it's cool and she could stay. That's how I know for a fact she doing this shit for a storyline. Because Drew staying means that she gets to be filmed for longer because they care on camera about the tension. Portia is too dumb to be trying to produce on camera, but she thinks that she's smart. And I'm pretty over her. So I'm going to just leave it there and then not speak about her no more because nothing I say will be nice.
right. So Drew was like, "You know what? I sense her energy. I'm going to leave." So Portia gets up, and not Portia. Drew gets up and she walks away. And the lady's like, "No, Drew, just go ahead and stay." And I'm with Drew. I'm not staying for this. Like, look at her. Like, she is way too entitled, and y'all are giving her all of this energy, especially Shamia sitting next to Portia. This is what got me kind of upset with Shamia, because it was like, look, your friend is wrong. And say you saying, "Okay, well, she wants to hear you say, it's okay, Drew. We will talk about this when we get back. I just want to have some fun. You're welcome to stay because it ain't that deep." Because y'all, I'm telling y'all, it's not that deep. So the conversation then pans over to Angela and this whole situation of Angela setting Drew up. And I said, "Y'all, how old are we at this table? How old are we at this table?" Angela about 60. Cynthia's about 60. Portia is about to be 50. Shamia about to be 50. And I'm sure Kelly up there in age too, and so is Britt. This is not high school. This is why this sounded so stupid coming out of Portia's mouth. Because it was like, how is Angela the person that's setting up Drew? When she simply just asked, "Hey, can I bring a plus one?" And you act like you didn't hear her say that when you were on the FaceTime or the phone call with her. And so she said, "Hey, and that's production. Yeah, we know I don't want to break the fourth wall either on my channel, but we gonna break the fourth wall. We know production asked Drew to be there. Because we know production is paying for this shit at the end of the day. And Drew is an employee, the same way Portia is an employee. Portia ain't got no damn power to tell somebody they can't come on a trip that production is paying for. But we're going to use Angela to push the knife a little further so we can get out of it because we don't want it to look staged and produced, right? Right. So therefore, yes, we're going to put it on Angela. But when Angela clapped back and she said, "Well, Portia, we never get anything out of you." And I said, "Thank you. Finally, somebody said it." And she goes, "You still ain't answered Kelly's question in the beginning about you taking that lady's husband. Why did you do it?" And when Angela dropped that joker, that guaranteed joker from the spades game on the table, Portia couldn't say nothing but, under her breath, "Kiss my ass." It was like, oh, now she got to kiss your ass, Portia. You don't want to answer that, Portia. You don't want to say why you took that lady husband, Portia. You don't want us to, know that man was, networked at that time. It was like 20 million or something like that. You didn't want us to know. You don't want us to know that when that season when we first met that man, that you was gloating about him having his own private plane because him and Fallon flew private to North Carolina or whatever the fuck y'all was for that Bolo situation, Cynthia's bachelorette party. Yeah, Portia, you're not fooling nobody. You're not fooling nobody. Y'all, that was when I tell y'all, and that was the moment Angela won me over. She lost me a little bit at the end, but that was the moment Angela won me over. I said, yes, throw that shit right back at her. Because Portia didn't know what to do. So I'm gonna skip the Cynthia and Portia thing because I don't feel like getting mad at Cynthia all over again because it's stupid. Mrs. Bessa, do you want to go over that scene? Because I'm gonna skip it.
No, I don't know why Cynthia's back anyway. They should have let go of her with Kenya.
Absolutely, because that scene was stupid. I couldn't. I'm not finna be you know, all of this allegiance to Portia. I'm just not gonna do it, y'all. So it's the ladies are in the jacuzzi. It's very interesting to say the least. Shots, asses, ass slapping, juice is going everywhere. I'm like, what the hell? What in the sorority sisters' house are we doing here? Like, what in the, damn, okay. And I, I hate to bring up old shit, but when I'm looking at Shamia slapping Portia's ass like that, I'm just like, my thoughts go crazy, y'all. My thoughts go crazy when I look at Shamia and Portia's comfortability with touching each other's, parts and nether regions and everything. My mind just goes, just wonders. Like, was there, a night in college one night, assuming Portia went to college and Shamia went to college? Was there a night in college one night, or was there a night in your early 20s where, y'all just wanted to see something? Because it was giving that energy. It was giving that energy. Yeah, Naya, you said it. You said it. Because that was where my mind went when I was first looking at that scene. I was like, whoa, Shamia and Portia, y'all got some explaining to do. Because I think this should be the couple here. Okay, I'm going too far. I'm going too far. Sorry, y'all. I was just kind of speaking of term, but it just seemed like they would be perfect for each other as a couple. Shamia and Portia. Mrs. Best, what do you think?
I think that Bravo needs to hire housewives that have husbands that are present enough to care about their behavior or who have something to lose. Because this season is a dud. It's not it. I wouldn't complain if I was watching Love and Hip Hop or even something like Basketball Wives, but I know everyone's praising Shamia for money and oh my gosh, Peach Juice is back, but these bitches is just declassing the show. But okay, if them as a couple, it would make sense, the toxicity, but yeah, I'm not impressed.
Yeah. So, um, Angela is up there at 2 o'clock in the morning on the phone with Charles. Okay. And they're talking about her, and her room is right above the pool, so you can clearly see that she's talking. And so she gets her phone out and restarts recording because she hears them talking about them, and I feel like she did it so she can have proof. Because Portia is one of those people who said that, who said that, who said that, and so I don't remember because, as I said, it's been a couple days since I watched this. I don't remember who said like how the segue happened, but it was said that Portia said that if Angela don't stop, she gonna fuck Charles. And by this time, Angela had them went downstairs and said, "Why are y'all talking about me?" And Portia conveniently scooted her ass up and walked up them stairs. I said, "Not Portia running." And y'all, it is that moment to where this made headways everywhere, where the fans are turning on Portia. They cannot believe it, but I'm just like, why are y'all so surprised? Why did it take y'all this long to understand this is Portia's motive? Nobody's husband is safe from Portia. Nobody's husband is safe. That's why I'm looking at Shamia over there. Um, I'm looking at Shamia over there like, ma'am, are you sure? Okay. Because yes, we all believe Portia said it. And we all, in our minds, because we know we have to say allegedly on these YouTube streets, but we all know allegedly Portia would do that because she's done it. Her current husband used to belong to somebody else when she started messing around with him. So we know this is not anywhere of, something that is beneath Portia. Now it starts to make me wonder because y'all know Cordell's first wife was on, or at least the baby mom. I don't know if that was ever his wife, but the baby mama was on Real Housewives of Atlanta before we met Portia. It makes me wonder, was Cordell married before Portia? Now I have to look this up Because now I'm curious. I wonder if Cordell was married before Portia, because it makes me wonder if Portia was a slide for Cordell and end up getting the ring second. I mean, Kelly did confirm it, so it's not so alleged. You know, I have to protect my channel, so you know. Ladies, you all should be disgusted what Portia said about sleeping with Charles and Cynthia. You talk about baby daddy hit different. What about husbands? We know that she don't take that serious, so you know. Cynthia get married every other year, it seemed like. So, you know. Portia got the Delilah spirit Drew was talking about. Oh, yeah. We never said, I don't know if I had my channel then when Drew said that, but Drew wasn't wrong. Drew wasn't wrong at all. Y'all, and I'm going to say it like this. We all know Portia is, you know, a 304. We all know this. She a gold digging 304. She is. Point blank in the period. There's proof of it on national TV. We understand this.
Portia says stuff on camera, but she doesn't do her actions on camera. I feel like she does her actions in the dirt. Because she knows if she was to say that to any woman about their husband, even joking, that'll be the time y'all see Mrs. Best come out of retirement. I would have dragged that bitch. How dare you speak about somebody's marriage like that when you sitting up here going through a divorce, claim to a valued marriage? How dare you do that to anybody? Now, granted, we know that there are rumors about Charles out there, and that makes it even worse. Because it's like you know of these rumors, which gives you the narrative that he's easy to get into bed with, and you willing to do that just because somebody invites someone on a trip that will hold you accountable? They invited your storyline. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. But Kelly, I don't like Kelly and how she moves. I just don't. I feel like she's sneaky. You could have said what you said and things could come out at the reunion. That's the beauty of being on the show. The reunion, they be showing us shit that didn't even air. So to record something was a little odd. However, comma, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. And Portia is gaining followers, acting a fool. A lot of girls right now, especially the younger girls, are okay with being a bot, being a thought, being a hoe, whatever the hell you call it. They're okay with it in the name of money. So I don't know. But Portia is a flop. She needs to be a friend of. She doesn't have enough of a storyline. Um, I'm over it.
When I tell you, Shani, I would have said, see, I wouldn't even have time to have make it downstairs because I probably would have jumped out the window. Knowing my crazy ass, because I felt like, because see, I feel like the stairs and get into the backyard would have taken me way too long, and I probably would have wanted to get her right then and there. So my crazy ass probably would have jumped out the window and said, "Oh, you want to fuck who husband? Whose? I know you didn't say mine. I know you didn't say mine." See, y'all half my leg would have been out the window, and probably production would have been pulling my arm and legs because you know I'm a liability at that point. Yeah, I wouldn't even have made it. I would even have made it. Yeah, I would have jumped out the window and said, "Wait a minute, who has been you trying?" Because see, yeah, and this is where I'm gonna get on Angela. Angela, I'm starting to like you coming over to my good side, but baby, no, that's you're not supposed to let Portia get away and sneak up behind you and confront every other lady except for Portia. Because I would have been like, Portia, where are you going? No, what did you mean by that? Why you say that? And then we probably would have got to fighting. That's probably what would have ended up happening. Because see, there's no way. There's no way you would disrespect me like that. There's no way. Absolutely not. So Angela, that was a disappointment. I get you got shit to lose, but at the end of the day, this is a controlled space. This is an environment where you could easily say it's reality TV. The shit ain't real. I was not really fighting. That was staged. That's all I'm gonna say. Um, yeah, you want to talk about husbands? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was just me. I too do not like Kelly. She does give me sneaky. Like something with her ain't right. I'm gonna say that. I see where you're going with that. I do, Mrs. Best and Kevin Rose. I do. Something about her ain't right. That's right, bro. Scream out the window. What you said, I'll be. Yeah, I was scream that from the window, and then I probably with my crazy ass would jump out the window because I'm not thinking logically at that point.
I would have been cussing her out. You out here trying to steal and fuck on husbands and still can't even become a wife. Bitch, you
She would
doing
have
all
did it.
Come on now. And then when you are a wife, the man don't want to act right. Portia is crazy to be acting like this. She came back on this show with just a mean and evil spirit. And I feel like based on after shows, I feel like at the reunion she's gonna blame it. Well, I was going through a divorce. Again, just because you going through something is not an excuse to act this way. Now when you get your next husband, the next Simon, because we know he gonna be an African, and that goes wrong. Don't be expecting people to feel sorry for you, Miss Portia. She done blocked Empire. She's blocking YouTubers. She's blocking fans. Anybody who disagrees with her, and I'm like, it's not gonna stop. But I do understand Angela for not flipping out because she's like, okay, go ahead and act a fool on camera. Because you know she's scary. Angela said she a size 12. I said, my God, you got to special order your shoes damn near. I would have said it quietly too, but she knows. I think Angela knows the audience is gonna read Portia for filth, which is what's been happening.
Mm. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but something in me would have felt like that was threatening, and I
No, I absolutely. I wouldn't have talked to the hoe either. You say something like that about my husband, I'll whoop your ass, find another job, and let him cover the rent. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. But with Angela and like especially people of her age, because she's much older than most of these women, I can understand why she reacted that way, because she's kind of damned and she's damned if she do and she's damned if she don't. If she would have reacted all crazy, snatched Portia up, cussed her out, then people would have said, oh, you're defensive, that means your husband be out here cheating. And then if she doesn't do anything, then people looking at her like, oh, you didn't do enough. So either
So,
way.
for me, yeah, no, I get what you're saying, and I understand that that would be confirming the narrative. But at the end of the day, it was said by somebody who has publicly took another lady's husband. So to me, I feel like there would have been some vindication if she did it, and she ain't got to do too much. A quick little wig snatch like Sheree did on Kim's OCX season 2 would have been fine for me. Just a quick little when she's walking up them stairs, because I'm pretty sure they would have had to have met at some point in them stairs. So a quick little, she could have did a quick little. What was my homegirl's name on New Jersey that grabbed Marge's wig? Um, what's her name?
Danielle, stop.
Yeah, a quick little, a quick line while she was walking downstairs. Oh, girl, I didn't know I had a handful of hair in my hand. I'm so sorry. A quick little pull like that. That's not what Danielle did. Danielle said, I just can't help myself. Snatch that wig. Yes, that's exactly what I needed to see. I needed to see that. Yes. And then I would have been satisfied because I still get gratification seeing that wig pull from Marge and Danielle. I still get gratification from that. I do. Because I felt like in that moment, Marge just definitely even though I like Marge, she definitely deserved that at that moment because you don't pour no water on no lady like that. That's fucked up. Anyways, we going too far. What we talking about? Or you could always ask Portia, who is Salmon fucking tonight while you were on vacation. Um, was he in custody at the? No, he wouldn't have been in custody at that time. No, he just recently got held in custody. Because I said, hell, one of the other. Because I would have said my response to you, Shani, is that Salmon is fucking one of the. I'm just playing. I'm not gonna do it. That's mean. I'm not gonna do that. Chase Portia down the alley and roll that beautiful beam footage. Thank you for confirming. Silas have removed all pictures of Kelly on his IG. Brid posted on his IG a lot of photos. Oh, okay. All right, but it's now the next day, and Angela has packed up all her shit, and she is calling her Uber, and she's getting on. And Drew had not left yet, so Drew's leaving with her. Kelly comes down. Oh my goodness! Hi, Angela. And I'm looking at her like, oh no. See, Angela's way better than me. She did the right thing. She really did. She goes, I ain't with the fakeness. Kelly, get away from me. She goes, I'm not doing anything, Angela. I just want to say good morning. Well, good morning. Thank you. Goodbye. I'm leaving. See, I know me, and I would have been fuming still. So Kelly walking her little short little ass up to me talking about some hee hee hi would have irritated me, and she probably would have got what Portia should have had. I'm just saying, anybody can get it. Don't come up in my face. That's all I'm saying. Don't come in my face. Oh, hold on. You talking about Paris? Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I know you're talking about. I know you're talking about. Yeah, that was going to happen anyway. Because I said Kelly, I'm telling you, something ain't right about Kelly. Something ain't right about Kelly. I'm starting to see fugazi ways. I am, but I'm just going to reserve because I feel like that's going to reveal itself. If not by now, but for the reunion. Y'all, I'm late to Love and Marriage Detroit. Is there anything else you want to add, Mrs. Best, before we go?
Nah, they need a recast. That's all. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you and I agree. I feel like we need to get rid of all of these ladies. I don't know what Phaedra is going to bring because she's sitting center as if she's going to bring something. I can't wait to see what it is because y'all are hyping Phaedra up at first, and I feel like we're going to be disappointed. I really do feel like we're going to be disappointed, and I feel like Phaedra ain't going to bring shit but some ooh, cha, y'all know how she do them scrunched up lips and shit. I don't have time for that. Phaedra, you better bring it. It better be worth everything that everybody's saying it is, because if it's not, I'm reading it down. Because I have a love-hate relationship with Phaedra. There's times I like her, there's times I don't. I love her as a mom because them boys are so well behaved, or that oldest one especially. Very well behaved, and I can commend her for raising a black man, for him to be well spoken and actually have correct posture and everything. It's just I love it. I love seeing it. But Phaedra, I can't get past all the other shit. So I'm hoping she brings it whenever she brings her ass here. But that's it, y'all. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially if you are not subscribed to me. I don't know what you're doing, but subscribe to me, y'all. This was fun. I got to get to Love and Marriage Detroit, and then we have to go to Mrs. Best channel to get through all the other videos. So make sure you like the video, and I'll see you guys on my next recap. Bye-bye now.